Our practice is to recite Kol Nidre before nightfall, meaning just before Yom Kippur comes in. And the reason for this is that Kol Nidre is an annulment of vows, and we may not nullify vows on Yom Tov. We may not nullify vows on Yom Kippur. We have to do so before Yom Kippur actually comes in. And if that's the case, the question is, why is it so important for us to do Kol Nidre? Why must we nullify vows now at this time? We have the whole year to do it. Especially since it's not really part of the actual Yom Tov. Why is this such a critical part of Yom Kippur? Why is it such a highlight of Yom Kippur when it's a mitzvah that doesn't even occur on Yom Kippur? It occurs before Yom Kippur. One idea we can say that the concept of nullifying a vow is nullifying our self-importance. Taking a vow is an expression of a person's confidence. He's so certain, he's so sure that he's going to do what he's promised he will do. He's so sure of himself. He says, for certain I'm going to do it. In fact, I'm even ready to vow that I will do it. Now this type of self-importance is a problem. And that's maybe the symbolic message of Kol Nidre for the entire community, that we have to be ready to strip ourselves of our self-importance. Self-importance links to another fault, and that is self-worship. When a person considers himself all-important, so then he will come to worship himself. He'll come to indulge in every type of whim. If he feels resentment at someone else, that person has something that should be mine. That person has something that belongs to me. I want it. So he'll be burning with anger. It's a type of self-indulgence, a type of jealousy, which leads to self-destruction. It leads to the destroying of himself. Or his self-worship might lead him to run after his pleasures, after his lusts, to such a degree that he becomes a glutton. He's a glutton for pleasure. And he comes to even permitted pleasures after a while are not enough for him. He needs forbidden pleasures. And then there's the horrible self-destruction of addiction. Furthermore, in his self-worship, he wants prestige, he wants honor, he wants acclaim, he wants applause. And he does very, very silly, stupid things in order to gain this fame. And he really destroys himself. And so therefore, the introduction to Yom Kippur is we have to try and at least symbolically try and set ourselves aside, move away from our self-importance, our self-worship. We have to give up on ourselves, and then we gain something else. Firstly, we'll gain atonement, because the root of all sin is the self-worship. No one sins unless there is something in it for himself. And if he's able to set himself aside, there's no need to sin. He doesn't have to break any laws, because his own pleasures are not all important to him. He's willing to forego sinning. Foregoing sinning is critical to cleansing ourselves of sin, which is the service of Yom Kippur. And furthermore, there's another profit. Once a person is able to set himself aside, he can really embrace this world. He can really enjoy this world. He can enjoy the great gift of life, which is the greatest gift of all. When a person is full of himself, he sees nobody else except himself. But when he sets that aside, he's able to receive the gift of life and the mitzvahs, which are so much a part of the gift of life. The mitzvah of loving your fellow Jew as yourself, being concerned about someone else, seeing their problems, seeing their issues, to be able to see other people. We have to take ourselves out of the picture before we can see other people. And it also leads to the mitzvah of loving Hashem. If he can see Hashem, he can see his mitzvahs, he can see his project, and he can become a partner in the project of Hashem, of building up this world, building up this life, embracing this life. And in this way, this nullification of the self can be a springboard to not only a wonderful new year, but also to a wonderful new life.